Yo, what's up, my guys? Hope you all having a great day. Thank you for watching. Today we're going with the RustConsole Edition bunker series. Today we're going to work on freehand bunkers. The reason why is because I like freehand bunkers. I have like 5 bases that use that. I'll put a link in the top right hand corner to the ones that I think are the best. Also, you can test this principle out and make your own base design. I really think this works in 1x2s, 2x2s, and external TC is the best. But I mean, you can use this in anything that has this like 3 triangle footprint right here. That being said, I'll show you how to do it. A lot of people measure this, well, the reason why you call this a freehand is because this foundation is going to be placed freehand from the base, so it's only partially attached. A lot of people measure it with a twig right here. I like to eyeball it. The reason why you got to measure it is because you don't want it to be too high. If it's too high, it's kind of a pain in the ass to get in and out of your base. Actually, you might just make it to where you can't get in and out at all. And usually I like the opening of the bunker to be on the side that the door is, so I'll stand on that side. But practice it, and you know, maybe it'll work differently for you. But I like it to be on that side because it actually opens up and it's like another airlock. But anyways, that being said, let's go ahead and slap this bad boy down. The way I like to do it is by measuring the height with this conditional world model from the stone wall here. It sticks out a little bit past the foundation. So I'll just take the foundation that's freehand, nip it a little bit into there, but not too much, because you don't want it to be too high. And then I just cant it a little bit towards the base, the farther side. And then move it around until it turns blue. Okay, it has a little bit of a gap, but it should be fine. And the gap on top is looks perfect. You might think that's a pain in the ass, but we'll be able to cover that no problem. And you want to check the stability on this. You don't want it to be any higher than 79 because then it's too connected to the base and it won't open. And if it's any lower than 77, that means it's not connected at all and it'll start to decay. So at this point, you could just upgrade everything. Let me test it and make sure. You should always test before you upgrade stuff, but I've done it so many times I know it'll work. So you could just leave it as a square and use a regular roof piece to open it. But actually, I don't really like that because this seems like it has a bigger hitbox. It seems like it's harder to get in and out of your base with the regular roof. That, and it costs more to upgrade this to high qual, which you're going to want to upgrade this to high qual as soon as you can, because somebody breaks this and doesn't break this wall, your base is completely ruined. So it's a pain in the ass. So you want to upgrade this to metal as soon as you can, if not armor. And if you want to upgrade this to armor, which I recommend, it's almost half the cost for a triangle, and like I said, it's easier to jump in and out of your base if it's a triangle. So I'm going to show you guys how to convert the square to a triangle. And the way you do it is you build a triangle, square, triangle, like that. And I would just go ahead and upgrade that to wood off rip, because say somebody kills you while you're building this, you can always build back, no problem. And say like you already upgraded this wall and not this twig for whatever reason, and somebody killed you, it's not that big of a deal because you can always build back like this. And you're good to go. And before you upgrade anything, I would go ahead and check, see you can put honeycomb down, because you might actually have it too far over on one side and the bunker still work and everything look fine, but you're not able to honeycomb it. If you're doing an external TC, you don't really have to worry about honeycombing it, you know, but if it's a base you're going to be living out of, I would check that. So now that everything's good to go, we can start working on these gaps here. And the reason why this base is like, this bunker kind of is a little bit sketchy, if you're using a second floor, if you're going to make this a 2-story base or like a multi-story base, is because you can't really connect anything to this. If you turn blue and you connect it, you're going to brick your bunker. So you can't really build off of this with too many things. The only thing you really build off of it with is like roof pieces like that, these like frames, and the roof pieces. And you have to be careful, because if you do it at the wrong angle like that, you'll brick your bunker. So whenever you're going to build anything around this bunker, I would just have it open. Don't have it closed and start building around it, because you might upgrade something and accidentally break your bunker, and then you'll be a sad panda, trust me. So that being said, if you're going to cover up the gap up here, which is not a big deal, like I said, some people use these frames, and like you're building external TC, you're probably going to use this so you can build back to your guard house and make it disconnectable, which, you know, is fine. And it covers up the gap okay. But honestly, unless you're doing disconnectable TC, I'd recommend just using the roof piece. It covers the gap much better. And you can also use that as roof honeycomb. If you just go around the base with different roof pieces, it's like acts as honeycomb. So that's the way I do it if you're going to make a base. The gap on the side here, this one doesn't have a crazy gap, but just in case you accidentally upgrade everything, you realize, oh shit, this gap is huge. You can use conditional world models to cover it up, and you might not know what that means, but everything has a conditional world model depending on like what it's connected to, except for the floor pieces, I think. But like all the doors and walls and stuff all do. So if you look at twig, well here I'll actually make it wood because it's a little bit easier to see the gap. See, there's like the stone wall right here, how it connects flat. Now if I upgrade this to stone, see, it connects and it takes up more room. Also, if it's like rotated the wrong way, it doesn't have it. You can, here, I'll put the roof up. It makes it easier to see. See how there's like a gap right there? If I rotate it this way, the conditional world model pops up. So, and if I made the sheet, it would go away. And like, so whatever, if there's a gap, whatever material is next to it is, like say I break this, see how there's a gap, that'll cover up the gap. And it also works with the double door wall frame. So if you want to do it, like this will work for the external TCs. If you rotate this, it takes up more room. So you can use that to block those gaps. So the gap's not really that big of a deal. You just don't want to make it too huge. And you can also cover up the gap on top. Just remember, the one thing with the spaces is you can't build, you can only build specific pieces on top of here. So you can't do, half walls, full walls, door frames, anything like that. So it does make this, kind of a weird footprint, like hard to build around. But if you're just doing a single story base, it's not that big of a deal, and it works pretty good. It's a cheap bunker. It's cheap to open. You only need a little bit of wood and a building plan, and boom, you can open it up. And a lot of the time, I'll put a shotgun trap in here, so if somebody's raiding and they drop down in here to throw C4 or whatever, it'll actually break the twig. So. Something else I forgot to mention is if your base already has honeycomb on it and whatnot, and somebody raids this, and it's really hard to place down the freehand foundation again. And if you don't have your triangle to work off of, you might be shit out of luck. The way I figured out how to do it, and it's not perfect because we're on console, is do the foundation like this, and I just cant it a little bit and bring it back. And after a little bit of trial error, like, see, that's 87. And I'm going to admit, it's really hard. Sometimes I've been, like, screwing and giving up, depending on how high the terrain is and whatnot. Just built a new base. But you can fix it. See, that's not connected at all. But just a little bit of trial and error doing this. You can try it with the square piece and the triangle. Honestly, I feel like it's kind of a mixed bag. Sometimes it works better with the triangle, sometimes it works better with the square. I think it just matters the area that you're in and whatnot, too. See, there we go. I actually was able to fix it. So keep that in mind. If somebody does raid your base, it still might be fixable. So even with the honeycombs up, it just seems too hard to put it on from the outside. I usually just, like I said, come in from the inside and try to do it. And it's worked the majority of the time. A couple of times, like I said, I've been like giving up and just left it as it was and built a new base. So, but yeah, forgot to show you that, guys, because I almost forgot. Before we leave, though, I want to show you the disconnectable TC variation. And a lot of people are going to be like, oh, this isn't disconnectable because there's no half walls here. I put the half walls on the guardhouse. Normally I have like a bedroom on the guardhouse, and that'll be where the half walls are. I kind of like having a bedroom on the guardhouse. See, I purposely left a little bit of a opening here so you guys can see what I'm saying. See, there's a gap. It's not that big, but you can kind of see the gap. Now if I rotate this, it covers it up. So, and you can see this little frame thing covers up less room than the actual roof does. So if you want to cover up a big gap, honestly, I would just use this, unless you just have to because it's a disconnectable TC. And like I said, if you build anything around here, make sure it's open. If it's not, make sure to test it before you upgrade anything. So yeah, that's pretty much like everything I can think of off rip. If you know, if I have anything that I forgot, I'll put it down in the comments. If you guys have any questions, you can ask me down in the comments. If you want to stay up to date with Rust content and these bunker videos I'm gonna be doing, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell, and I'll catch you all later. Deuces.